Hi friends, welcome to the channel Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles. Ashish here, and today I'll be covering a Sudoku variant called Anti-Diagonal Sudoku. Now this Sudoku was constructed by Siyuan Luo, and I really thank the author for giving me an opportunity to cover a video on our channel. Now this particular Sudoku was constructed for Indian Sudoku Championship 2022 that was held a few weeks ago, and all the Indians participated in the competition for getting selected for the World Sudoku Championship, right? So Indian Sudoku Championship was held quite a few weeks ago, and this was the Sudoku that was featured in it, right? So there were many other Sudokus, and all the booklets were excellent. I mean to say, all the Sudokus were really excellent. I have been a participant of Indian Sudoku Championship, and I know that the quality of the Sudokus was top notch. So I would highly recommend, if you really want to improve your Sudoku skills and really want to solve some excellent variants, I would recommend you to please purchase the booklet Sudoku and the puzzle booklets as well. So there was Indian Puzzle Championship as well, and both the booklets are available online. So I'll add the link in the description below on how to purchase the booklets, right? So you can check out the link in the description below, and I would highly recommend you to do so, because all the Sudokus were of excellent quality, right? So this was one of the Sudokus, Anti-Diagonal Sudoku, where many people actually got stuck, and I got a request for making a video on this one. So I myself actually got stuck on this Sudoku during the competition, and I somehow managed to clear it with some very narrow logics. I don't remember the logic. I remember somewhat, but let's see if we are able to find any other way to complete this Sudoku, right? So before going to this Sudoku, I would highly recommend you to please subscribe to the channel Unshackling Sudokus and Puzzles if you haven't done so. It will really motivate us to cover videos on regular basis, and if at all you have a request for any Sudoku variant or a puzzle genre, do let us know in the comment below, and we'll surely make a video on it. And coming back to this Sudoku now, so classic Sudoku rules apply. Just a second, I have not taken the Sudoku tab here. Yeah, so classic Sudoku rules apply. You need to place digits from 1 to 9 in each row, each column, and 3 into 3 box without repetition. Apart from that, you have some diagonals marked. I mean to say, two main diagonals marked here. So which means that it's actually anti-diagonal Sudoku. So the rules are not same as the diagonal Sudoku, where you have digits from 1 to 9 in each marked diagonal. But in this case, you will have exactly 3 distinct digits, 3 digits in each marked diagonal. So I mean to say that you will have 3 same digits here, and those 3 digits would have to be here and here as well for this diagonal. And for this diagonal, whatever digits you have here would have to be in these 3 cells and in these 3 cells in any order, right? So that is what the rules of the anti-diagonal Sudoku constraint says. So every main marked diagonal contains only 3 different digits. So whatever digits you have here would have to be here and here as well in this diagonal, and whatever digits you have here would have to be here and here as well. And with that, we will start solving this Sudoku. So if you see the theme here, excellent theme, 2 by 2 box, only 16 given digits, and you make sure that this anti-diagonal Sudoku is unique. So let's see if we are able to solve it. This would have to be an 8 because of the 8 here and 8 here. Okay. So we know that this diagonal has an 8, right? So this cannot be an 8. One of the 8s would have to be in one of these 2 cells, and 8 would have to be in one of these 2 cells, right? Okay, 6 cannot be here, so this cell would have to be a 6. Same way, this cell would also have to be a 3. I remember that. So it's a 3-6 pair here. Okay, which means 6 cannot be here. In this box, 6 would have to be here. That gives you 6 in one of these 2 cells. Okay, 4 would have to be in one of these two cells. 6 cannot be here, 6 cannot be on this diagonal, 6 cannot be here. 6 would have to be in one of these three cells, so that would not help us much. 5 would have to be in one of these two cells, so 5 would have to be in one of these three cells, right? But this cell cannot be a 5 because this diagonal cannot have a 5, so this diagonal also cannot have a 5, so this cell cannot be a 5. So where were we? This cell, this cell, this cell, right? So these two cells can be a 5 here. Okay, and 8 and 9 won't help us. 3 and 6 already have done it. 1 and 2, 4 and 6 won't help us again. 6, okay, 6 cannot be here. 6 cannot be here, 6 cannot be here. 6 would have to be in one of these two cells. So this cell is not a 6. 6 would be in one of these two cells. Oh, 8 cannot be here, right? That was easy to see, because if 8 is here, both the diagonals would have to have an 8, and this diagonal cannot have an 8. You already have 8 outside the diagonal, so this cell cannot be an 8. This is a 8 and this is a 5 here. Okay. So let us mark that what all numbers can be on this diagonal. You cannot have 3, 6, 7. You will have 8. So 1, 2, okay, you cannot have 3, 6, 7, 1, 2, 4, 5, 9, 1, 2, 4, 5, 9, 8. 4, 5, 9 cannot be on this diagonal. So this cell can only be 1 and 2. Right? This cell can only be 1 and 2 here. Okay. Okay, if you see here, 5 cannot be here, 5 cannot be on this diagonal as well because of the 5 outside this diagonal in this box. So 5 would have to be here, which means 5 cannot be here, 5 would have to be here, and 5 cannot be on this diagonal as well because you already got a 5 here. So this is not a 5, this cell would have to be a 5, which means 5 can be in one of these two cells, right? Okay. Come on. Now what are we missing here? Oh, wait. I remember seeing this logic. Okay, so you have a 1, 2 here and a 1, 2 here. So whatever digit you have here, where it can be in this box. That's an excellent piece of logic here. It's called a placeholder technique. That's an excellent piece of logic. So whatever digit you have here, maybe 1 or 2, where can you have that in this box? So if you have a 1 here, it would have to be here. If you have a 2 here, it would have to be here because of the 1, 2 given here, which means this cell also would have to be 1 and 2, and which means 5 in this row can only be in this box. I remember this logic. I do remember this logic. But that is that helping us? Not much, but let me see what I can do with this. Okay, I got one more thing here. So I'll explain what I actually solved in this while in the competition. I would say I got one logic that was quite difficult to see, but I somehow found it, and I remember that logic now. I do remember the logic. Where can you have 1 in this row? You cannot have it here. You cannot have it here. 1 would have to be in one of these two cells in this row, right? I'll mark that with the different color here for us to see that what is happening here, right? 1 can be in any one of these two cells in this row, which means on one of the diagonals you will have 1. Exactly, right? And what was the logic that I saw was, what happens if I have a 1 here? Very complex, but I got another way of a beautiful way to see the logic. This is one of the ways that I wanted to show because I solved it using this method. What happens if you have a 1 here, right? If you have a 1 here, 1 in this diagonal would have to be here, and which means you'll have 1 in both the diagonals, right? So where can you have a 1 here? There is no possibility that you'll have 1 in this diagonal, because this one eliminates 1 from this cell, this one eliminates 1 from this cell, and this diagonal doesn't have a 1. So you'll have these 3 digits and these 3 digits as same, but you don't have a 1 here. This was the logic that I solved, and I got a very beautiful way to see another way to see the logic is, wait, I just saw now. Yeah, another beautiful way to see the logic was, if this cell is a 1, both the diagonals would have a 1, and where can it be? It will be on the same column, because this cannot be a 1, this is not a 1, this cannot be a 1, this cannot be a 1, and both these diagonals will have 1 in this column. That was the logic that I just saw. That is awesome, guys. That is awesome. So which means this cell would be a 2, and I can directly write that if this is a 2, this is also 2. And in other way that we saw that this cell cannot be a 1, because that will eliminate 1 from this diagonal. Or maybe now we can say that this cell cannot be a 1, because this diagonal needs a 1, right? If at all, I'm sorry, if this diagonal cannot have a 1, so which means this diagonal also cannot have a 1, and 1 in this row can only go in one cell, that is this cell, which means now this diagonal can have a 1, and this would have to be here, and this is a 1 here. You need a 2 in one of these two cells, so these two cells are 2. Okay, you need a 2 in this diagonal, so this cell is a 2 now. This can either be 3 or a 6, because this is 3 or a 6. 2, 3, 6. 6 will not be here. 2 and 6. Oh, 6 cannot be in any of these cells, right? Okay, that's nice. 6 cannot be here, 6 cannot be here. So this cell would have to be a 6, which means it is 3 here, 3 here, 6 here, 1, 2 and 3, right? So this is 2, this is 3. We got 1, 2, 3 in all of these columns. So this diagonal is done. So if you see the diagonal here, you have 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Awesome. I proceeded with one more logic that I didn't found during the competition. That was excellent actually. So 7, 8 and 9 here in any of these cells in any order. So this is not a 7, 2 and 8, right? So this cell would have to be a 2, 2 and 8. This cell is not a 2, this cell is not a 2, this is a 2 here. 1 cannot be here, 1 cannot be here. So 1 would have to be in one of these two cells. 1, 4, 5 and 9. 5 also cannot be here, so this cell would have to be a 9. 5 cannot be on the diagonal as well, so 1, 5 pair here, right? 1 is here, 5 also would have to be outside the diagonal, so 5 is also here, so you get a 1, 5 pair here. This cell would have to be a 4, so 4, 2 and 8. So this is 4, this is 4 and this is 8. And I think so we have done all the diagonal constraint. 2, 4, 8, 2, 4, 8, 2, 4, 8, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So we have done all the diagonal constraint here. So this is 6, 7 and 9 here in any order. 6, 7 and 9. This cannot be a 6. 5, 7 and 4. 4 cannot be here, 4 cannot be here. So this is a 4. 5, 1 and 5, that would have to be a 7. And this is 1, 7 and 9. So this is 7 and a 9 here. Okay. This is 8 and 9. So this is 9 and 8 here. This is 3 and 7. So can be in any order. Oh, 5 cannot be here. So this cell would have to be a 5, 7, 8 and 9. 8 cannot be here. So this is 7 and 9. You have 7 and 9 pair. So this would have to be a 6. This cell would have to be a 6. And this cell would have to be a 6. 7, 8, 9 is done. So this cell is a 1 here. Okay. 5 and 9. So this is 9. That is 5. And this is 4 and 1. So this is 4. That is 1. And with that we get a 4 here. Again 7, 8 and 9. Oh, 3 is here. So you'll have a 7 and a 3. 7 and 8 is here. So you'll have a 9 here, 9 here, 8 here and 7 here. That gives you a 9 here. That gives you a 7 here and a 9 here. Oh. Come on. I always do that. That is... What did I do here? Six is here, 7 and 9. This is 7, this is 9, that is 7 here. You cannot have a 7 here because that eliminates 7 from this cell. I have done a silly mistake here somewhere. I always, when I solve, when I always try to solve fast, that is what I end up with. Four, 1, 3, 5, 8, 9, 6, 7, 2, 3 and 7, 7 and a 3 here. That eliminates 7 from this cell. Come on. So this cell wouldn't be a 6. How did I write this 6 here? That was a mistake if I believe. This is a 5. Right? 1, 7, 8, 9. So this is 1. Oh, I wrote a 1 here, right? This is a 1. Come on. That is what I did a mistake here, and this is 7, 8 and 9. I'll have to go slow. I was very fast and that is actually bad. 8 and 3, right? So this is 8, that is 3. Yeah, I'm fine now. That was bad. 9 and a 5 here, and 4 and a 1 here. It is 4, that is 1. 6 and 7 here in this order. So this is 7, that is 6, that is 9, that is 7. Right, I wrote a 6 here. No. Come on. 7 and a 4 here, guys. Come on. This is 4, that is 7, that is 9, that is 6. What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? I really, hate solving online. I really do so. Because solving it online is very bad for me. I always tend to make mistakes that I shouldn't. 2, 3 and 4, right? This would have to be 2. That gives you a 2 here. That gives you a 7 here. That gives you a 7 here. That gives you a 3 here. 8 and 9. And that gives you a 6 here. 4 and 3. Am I right? Yeah, 4 and a 3 here. 7 and a 9 here. So this is 7, that is 9, that is 9, that is 8, that is 9, that is 8, that is 7. And thank God. Come on, guys. I'm extremely sorry for such a, stupid mistakes. But I always do that. I always do this while solving it online and also on paper. I admit that. I actually admit that. I try to solve very fast, and that is why I end up doing mistakes. I'll have to actually be accurate now, and that is only possible when I solve it slow. but somehow we found the mistake, we found the logic, and somehow completed this Sudoku. But I'm much more happy that I found a logic that I couldn't found it in during the competition, and that is what happens actually. So in a competition, you are in pressure. You need to solve as many Sudokus as possible within the time limit, and that makes you ignore a few logics that are intended. But this was excellent piece of logic. So if you have a 1 here, you need to have 1 in this both diagonals, and it will be in the same column. And the logic that I used was, you cannot have a 1 here because you'll have a 1 here and there is no 1 in this box in the diagonal. So a very good piece of Sudoku. I really enjoyed this Sudoku. Thanks to the author for such a wonderful anti-diagonal Sudoku. So I hope you enjoyed this Sudoku. Do like and comment if you want us to solve any other Sudoku variant or a puzzle genre. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you.